Hello, my name is Kara Lucas, and I'm a Master of Library Science student who is doing a practicum here at the College Hill Library. And my focus is on work study tutorial videos. This initial video is about the reference interview. So the initial component of the reference interview is establishing rapport. And rapport is established both verbally and non-verbally. Non-verbally, it's important for you to project an air of availability. This is done through an open and a welcoming body posture, establishing and maintaining eye contact, and through a pleasant facial expression. Verbally, this is done through a friendly tone of voice and making small talk. Small talk will really go a long ways in terms of increasing the student's comfort level. So the next stage is when you are clarifying the question. To that end, it is important for you to ask open-ended questions. These will be the kind of questions which demand more than a simple yes or no answer. They will draw the student out and they will increase his or her comfort level. Rephrase any question that's difficult, and you shouldn't be afraid of repeating the step as many times as is necessary until you understand. Be attentive and remember details, because the details will help you later on when you're searching for information. Allow students time to think and time to process their thoughts. It may be that the student isn't entirely clear on what they're asking until they verbalize it or look at the instructions from their instructor. I would caution you against the tendency of taking questions entirely at face value. This is because there are many questions you can use as an opportunity to explain how the library works. For example, let's suppose you have a student who's asking for books on anthropology. However, it's apparent to you they've never been in the library, they don't understand how it's arranged, or the Library of Congress classification system. Your explanation can help increase their comfort level the next time they're in the library. Now I'd like to share with you an example of a difficult question I encountered at an academic library. Finding the answer involved multiple referrals, and it was a time-consuming process. So a student approached the reference desk and wanted to know what the weather was for a particular month in Fairbanks, Alaska of 1972. So how would you go about approaching this question? First of all, I would ask the student how they will be using the information. Their answer can inform you as to appropriate sources to suggest. There are several possible sources to consult, ranging from government information to journal articles to books, as well as other librarians or other institutions, perhaps the Norland Library at CU Boulder, to refer him or her to. Ask their time frame and caution them that the answer might not be immediately forthcoming. So when you're developing a search strategy and communicating it, it is very important that you explain how to narrow and broaden topics. Oftentimes, for new students, they're most in need of narrowing topics. They may have a topic in mind which is so broad it wouldn't work as a thesis statement, furthermore, would yield an unmanageable number of results in the library database. By the same token, you can have a student who has such a specific thesis in mind, it will not yield a sufficient number of results. So you can explain how to narrow and broaden topics in both the library catalog and the library database. Should Wikipedia come up, you can explain it is only a good starting place, good for an overview, and sometimes good for references to other sources, but it does have limitations. Ask them about deadlines. It will save you the unnecessary work of placing a book or journal article on interlibrary loan. The interlibrary loan process can often take from a few days to a week. Verify spellings. The correct spelling will help make your search go smoother and avoid any potential misunderstandings. Invite students behind the desk so they can observe. So locating information and evaluating. At this particular stage, timing is very important, just as it initially was when the student was explaining what their question was. So you'll want to allow time between suggestions, especially if you're suggesting multiple sources, so the student can evaluate the information. I would return to the question and verify that the source addresses it. In journals, this can be done through looking at the list of keywords and the abstract. Show the email and citation features in the databases. They will definitely want to email themselves the article or go ahead and create an account with their own folder in the database for easy referral, as the links are not stable. Should a student be uncertain how to cite, you can show them the citation features as well. So at this point, you will want to ensure you have properly answered the question. I would recap what the steps are you have taken. I would do this verbally, and if you find it necessary, both verbally and in writing. Oftentimes a written list can be helpful for the student to refer back to later on. If needed, ask follow-up questions. Refer them to a librarian or another institution as is appropriate. You can give them the librarian business card, encourage them to set up a consultation, and I would email the librarian the student's name and their inquiry and inform them that the student will be in touch. So when you're closing the interview, thank the student for visiting, encourage them to return with any further questions that may develop, and don't end the reference interview prematurely. There is a quiz which is coming up, and my next video will be on customer service. Thanks for watching.